and welcome back to take another step in your journey towards Photoshop heaven. Now we've looked at steps 1 and 2, layers and selections, in previous videos. Today I want to look at a third powerhouse feature of Photoshop, and that's masking. Now what's that all about? Well, some say that masking is a form of black magic passed down through the generations of Photoshop ninjas. Now because you are special, I'm going to let you in on the secret. Now I had a piece of advice many years ago when I was trying to wrap my head around masking. I'm fairly miserable, I might say. Now the advice was, don't try to understand masking. Good advice indeed, and it did work for me. I was told just learn some rules and do it. Then in a short while of doing it, the penny will drop. You'll have one of those light bulb moments and say, that's what masking's all about. So okay, let's begin by looking at what masking isn't. Well, in short, it's like erase, but on steroids. It's cleverer and totally non-destructive. So here I've got this spaceman image. And let's say I want to get rid of this pretty bland, boring sky and replace it with a bit of a more interesting sky. So, first thing I can do, I can say, well, I'll erase the sky. Okay, so I'll go and get my eraser tool. Nice brush size, and I'll start painting. Just a minute. But I'm painting with red. I should be erasing. Well, Photoshop won't let me erase the transparency on a background layer because it's locked. We've got a padlock. So let's Control and Z just to undo that painting. And then I'll get rid of my padlock, drag that over the bin. And now when I use the eraser tool, it will let me erase the transparency. Problem is that these pixels have now gone. If I save this image out in whatever format, those pixels are history. So if I ever want to come back to this original image, I'm stuffed. They've gone. It's like taking a pair of scissors and cutting out one of your favourite photographs and throwing it away. It's fine while you're doing it, but then if you ever want to get back to the original image, it's in the bin, it's gone. So let's see what we can do with the mask and how that's different. I'm going to undo that again just to get back to his original image. And now let's make a selection. Now it's pretty good. We can paint just like we did before. We could paint on here on the mask to make a selection, or we can make a selection with a selection tool. Now because this is quite a bland sky, it'll be a really good selection tool to use is the magic wand tool. So that's going to be my tool of choice. So I'm going to go into the sky and I'm going to click. And that's going to give me a fairly decent selection. It's going to cut all that sky out. But for my mask, what I want selecting, just a minute, I've just missed a couple of bits. I'll just click in there and click in there. But what I want is the spaceman selecting rather than the sky. So I'm going to inverse that selection. So I'm going to go to select and inverse. And now you can see I've got everything but the sky selected. And now I need to refine this selection a little bit because there will be some little edge pixels. So I'm going to go up to refine edge. And you can see what I mean. I have got some little edge pixels here all around this side and that side. So I'll just switch on this. Well, I'll just bring that in so you can see it. I'll switch on the smart radius. We'll just lift that up a little bit. And we'll smooth it out a little bit and shift the edge in a little bit. That looks pretty cool. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. And I'm going to output it as a selection. And then I'm going to click OK. So now I've got a reasonable selection of the spaceman. And what I need to do now is to put a mask on. Now the good thing with masks is that if you have a live selection, the mask will automatically recognise that and it will make the mask based on that selection. So the mask icon is down at the bottom here of the layers panel. It says add layer mask. I'm going to click on that, and hey presto, all the sky is gone. But it hasn't. All we've done is we've masked it out. So anywhere that's black, the pixels become invisible. Anywhere that's white, we can actually see the image. The pixels are visible. So all we've done is we've painted with black, or we paint with white. Okay, now if I save this image out, this mask will be saved with it. So the next time I come back, if I want to get rid of it or modify it, I can do, because I've not actually deleted any pixels. All I've done is made them invisible. Anywhere where I've painted with black, the pixels are invisible. So if I want to bring them back, I can just paint with white. But let's take this to its finish. Let's say we want to replace that sky with a nice wispy cloudy sky like this. So I'll go and get my move tool, and I'll move this one into the spaceman image. Just bring it down. I'll zoom out a little bit, Control and minus, and then I need to transform that. So I'm going to use Control and T just to transform that and drag it out so it fills up that area, and double click. Now at the moment it's at the top of the layer stack, so I'm seeing it first. So what I need to do is to drag it underneath the spaceman layer. And when I do that, just zoom in a little bit so you can see. And when I do that, you can see that the effect of the mask is to mask out all these blue pixels here and let me see through to the sky pixels, the wispy sky pixels that are underneath. Okay, so let's have a bit of a recap. If we paint black on the mask, then what we're doing is we're hiding the pixels. If we paint white on the mask, then we're revealing the pixels. Right, now one important point is whether or not the mask is active or not, because when you're painting, you need to be painting onto an active mask. So I'll show you this. You see there's like a little double line round the mask here. Well, that means that mask is active. So when I paint black and white on it, I'm actually painting on the mask. If I just click on this side, you'll see that now the image is active. So if I paint now with black or white, I'm actually painting on the image, which is not what I want. So what I need to make sure is that if I'm doing any masking, that the mask is always active. So just click, and that mask is now active. So now if I go and select black as my foreground colour and get my paintbrush and say paint here, if you look on the mask, you'll see that I've got some black paint here, and where that black paint is, I'm cutting through to see the sky layer underneath it. If I decide that's wrong and I want to reverse that, then I just go and select white as my foreground colour and I paint that back in again. So I'm selectively either making pixels invisible or visible rather than erasing them. Totally non-destructive. Okay, now you may ask, well, what happens if I paint with grey on a mask? Come on then, ask me. That's a really good question. Well, if we paint with grey, we can paint in with transparency, which is really good for if we're wanting to fade the edge of something in to make it look realistic when we're doing a composition. So if I go down to my foreground colour and I select a grey, a nice light grey, and I'll set paint just here. You can see how I can see through a little bit, but not all. I'm painting with a slight amount of transparency, whereas if I'm painting with black, I've got full transparency. Okay, well that's it. You have now taken the 3 most important steps to get into Photoshop heaven. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful. For more training on Photoshop and Lightroom, look up my website, kenfisherphotography.com, or subscribe to my YouTube channel, Live Link Training. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.